So the brand new med spa that I just got off the phone with should have been thriving. They had a beautiful space, a prime location, and top tier equipment. But within a year, they were nearly out of business. So what went wrong? Groupon. In today's video, I'm going to break down how this common marketing strategy nearly destroyed their brand. It brought in the wrong patients and it tanked their profit. So if you're considering using Groupon for your med spa, you need to watch this video. So picture this, a really pretty med spa in the heart of the city. The space is upscale with the chic look and they have top tier equipment. And their modern interior makes it look like a luxury retreat. And the team was a solid group of professionals that delivered excellent customer service. This spa really had every reason to thrive. But the owner, who wanted to grow really fast in a highly competitive market, decided he wanted to hit the ground running. And so the goal is clear: fill up your schedule with patients. Now this med spa offered Botox, filler, body sculpting, IPLs, the works. You know, the services that everyone wants. So it really should have been a recipe for success, right? But despite the beautiful space and the promising services, the spa had a problem. The owner was under pressure to bring in patients quickly, and that's where things started to unravel for them. So the waiting room was packed full of patients, and that sounds great, right? But if you looked at the revenue, it was either below profit or had a really small profit margin. Now keep in mind, ideally, you would like your profit margin to be 50% or more. In a real wonderful world, you really want it 70% or higher. The other big issue with these patients is they didn't rebook. So they were constantly chasing new patients, and their schedule was not consistent. So what went wrong? Well, it was that they brought in the wrong kind of patient, and that's where Groupon came in. Now you might be wondering, why would a med spa with so much potential turn to Groupon? Was it lack of awareness of other marketing options? Was it just the pressure to fill up the schedule quickly? Or maybe it was just advice from somebody offering or promising great leads. Whatever the reason, the decision to offer deep discounts through Groupon became a slippery slope, and it's one that nearly destroyed their business. I mean, everything sounded great at first, and the spa was flooded with patients, but not the type that they actually wanted. Groupon brought in a flood of low-paying patients that were one-time customers. They booked their appointments, but once they came in, it became clear that they were not going to rebook, and they weren't the ideal client. And the issue started piling up immediately, right? They constantly had no-shows, and then they were having complaints about pricing being too high, and then they had customer service issues that started causing chaos and created a decrease in the team morale. And the med spa quickly realized the patients weren't interested in coming back if they had to pay full price, no matter how much of a good consultation they did or how great of a job they did. So the original excitement with filling the schedule full of patients quickly wore off, and staff morale took a huge hit. The team was burned out because they were constantly scrambling to manage disgruntled patients. And worst of all, the spa's premium feel, gone. And why? Because it started to feel more like a discount spa than the high-end spa that they had originally promised. So how quickly did the patients come after they joined with Groupon? Well, within the first month, the volume really was high, but the results just weren't what they expected. And behind the scenes, the staff started feeling the pressure, frustrations were rising, and the brand dropped from being a high-end med spa to just another med spa down the street. And then you had clients started leaving negative online reviews and demanding extra services. And many of them were really expecting the same deep discounts on the next service. Honestly, it was just a recipe for disaster, and the long-term effects started to show. Now, let's talk about the hidden costs of Groupon. On paper, it may seem like a really good idea. Each Groupon treatment was deeply discounted by like 50 to 70%, which, keep in mind, is going to cut into your profit alone. And what most people don't realize is that Groupon typically takes about 50% of the revenue that you get from their Groupon, which is how you may not even end up breaking even. And the clients that you do bring on rarely come back. Here's the thing. These discount hunters aren't usually the type to make a repeat visit, especially when they got such a low price the first time. Now, the owner's goal was to convert them into loyal, full-price paying clients, but that's not really what happened. So the retention rate is practically non-existent, and hardly anyone rebooked full price for the services. It was like they were a one-and-done cycle. But remember, it wasn't just about these clients not even coming back. These clients that were brought in were harder to please. They come in expecting premium services at a severely discounted price. And here's the kicker: when you factor in the cost of the product, the time spent with the provider, and everything else that went into the treatment, a lot of times they were losing money on every service. In fact, a lot of these treatments had a profit margin that was already below 25%, and that was before you even factor in Groupon's costs. So what did the owner do? Did he try to upsell the clients? Yeah, of course. They did a really good job trying to convert these patients into booking a full price service. But honestly, it was like pulling teeth. For most of the patients, the discounts had already set expectations that didn't match the value of the service. And it quickly became clear the more they tried to upsell, the less successful they were. So what should have this med spa done instead of turning to Groupon? In my opinion, the biggest mistake was not focusing on the right clientele from the beginning. The goal should have been to build loyal, high-quality clientele who valued the service and were willing to pay for it, not just chase short-term volume with discounts. To do this, they should have focused on building long-term trust with their clients. It's all about creating meaningful relationships with your clients, not just filling the schedule. This means using high-touch marketing strategies, like encouraging referrals from your existing patients, creating engaging video content that highlights your expertise, maybe hosting educational events, and doing a really good job with your consultations and asking a lot of really good questions. And then leverage social media to build your credibility. Think about it. What kind of marketing would have matched this med spa's luxury positioning? It certainly wasn't Groupon. It should have been showcasing their premium services and their expertise, not slashing prices. And then they could have used their Google My Business page and asked patients for reviews and build that up, and then use social media and video content to position themselves as the go-to expert in their specific niche. This would build trust and authority in a way that attracted clients who actually appreciated quality. Now, they should have seen signs early on that Groupon wasn't a good fit. After the first month, the owner should have reevaluated their strategy. Instead of doubling down on discounts and keep going, they should have pivoted, that was, to a marketing approach that aligned with their premium brand. Remember, it's important to stay on top of your numbers and look at what's working and what isn't when you first start a business. If they had done that, they might have avoided the long-term damage that ultimately set them back. So what do you do if you've already gone down the Groupon road and now you're feeling stuck? First, stop Groupon immediately. It's time to cut ties with the deeply discounted model that's hurting your brand. The longer you keep going down that road, the harder it's going to be to shift from the perception of your brand. Next, it's time to reposition your brand. Start with premium content and messaging that highlights the value of your services. You need to remind your clients and potential clients why you're worth every penny. Focus on showcasing your expertise, the quality of your treatments, and the personalized experience you offer. One powerful way to start rebuilding trust with your clients is to create a membership program or a VIP membership. This not only adds value, but also allows you to establish more of a predictable income stream while building loyalty among your best clients. And at the same time, focus on client retention. Work on getting those glowing reviews, building some strong referral networks, and leverage organic marketing. No more quick fixes and shortcuts. Organic marketing through social media, word of mouth, and content creation will help you grow slowly. And it will also help you attract higher value clients who appreciate what you're bringing to the table. So what's one thing you could do this month to shift your client base? Start with an offer or an event designed for your ideal client. Do not do any huge discounts, just a little one. Create content that speaks directly to this clientele and make sure you're highlighting the true value of your service. It's about making that shift from volume to quality. And it starts with a simple change with how you communicate. Yes, Groupon brought in volume, but not the right client. And the mismatch nearly cost this med spa everything. If you're building a premium brand, make sure you're marketing to reflect that. Now, Check out this next video on how to improve a patient experience, because getting the right client is just the first step. Keeping them is where the growth happens. Now remember, if you want to talk to us about helping you with any of this, click the link in the description and book a free call with me. See you in the next video.